Two 18-year-old schoolgirls have been murdered in Creighton, a settlement in Harry Gwala District Municipality in KwaZulu-Natal. They were both hacked to death. One body was found on Sunday, while the second was found in a bush on Tuesday. Police say the 21-year-old suspect has appeared in court. For more on this, we've got a senior reporter, Dasen Thathiah, who's following developments around this gruesome murder. Dasen, are we furnished with the details of the circumstances that would have led to a young man brutally killing two young girls?
And what makes it worse, Rufewa, is that that man that you're talking about was known to the two victims that we're talking about here, Minenhle Buthelezi and Amanda Zulu. So let me just take you through how it happened. And you know, when we talk about a senseless killing, this is exactly what that was. We are in Creighton, as you mentioned, and if you look around me, it's quite rural here, and there are also a limited number of schools that some of the pupils can access. So the girls were staying here because it puts them quite close to Kenyani High School, which is not far from where I am now. So there was a family here which had been kind enough to offer them space to stay, and that was the room that they were staying in, just off to my right here. They'd been living here since the beginning of the year. This was their grade 12 year, and that's where they were on Saturday night when the killing took place. So the suspect, or rather the accused in this matter now, first started on this end, and he tried to cut this power wire which provides electricity to this homestead, presumably to ensure that the place was dark when he entered the room in which the girls were staying in. After he started here, and this was at about 7 o'clock at night, so you'd imagine that it was already quite dark at this point. He then made his way around this rondavel to that room that I was showing you, and I think this is where it becomes extremely gruesome from the descriptions that we've been getting from those that were here. He hacked both these girls to death. One of them was found outside in this corner here, and it was a horrible scene. There was only on the premises at the time children and a granny that lives here, and they then alerted one of the men from this homestead who had come through. He says he got that call just after 7 o'clock to come through here and to assist. When he did come here, he found the young lady outside. They tried to take her to the hospital, but unfortunately at that time it was too late. But the other victim was dumped in a bush just across the road from where I'm standing now, and she was only found on Tuesday morning. So that was yesterday morning in the early hours, and that was after the suspect had pointed out where he had dumped that body. But we also had an opportunity earlier this morning, Rufewa, to speak to some of the government delegation that had come out here to the area. There was the MEC for Transport, Peggy Nkonyeni, as well as Nonhlanhla Khoza, who's with Social Development. Let's listen to what they had to say about the tragedy that unfolded here.
We are very, very much disturbed by the sad news of the gruesome killing of the two girls. In fact, they were just minors. They were 18-year-old, but they happened to be killed by a known person around the community. This area is a deep rural area. You wouldn't expect such a thing to happen to this area. So this child who died here was a Buthelezi child, but who resides here with her grandmother. This is eNCA family who kept her. She is a foster child. She gets some grants from ourselves as social development because she doesn't have any parent left. She was the only one who is left among the family. So we are very disturbed by this news, but we have dispatched our social workers to come here and assist the family. They have been here from the 1st of August. They have been here just to be with the family, and they have identified some gap within the family, and you can see that the family is a destitute family. So we have provided that psychosocial support to the family itself, and we are going to extend our psychosocial support to the school as well.
Dasen Thathiah, I have to let you go, but very briefly, speaking to community members there, is this a common occurrence in a community like that in Creighton?
They say that it's not, and this is an unusual incident. And in this case, they can't understand why this happened because the accused in this matter is someone from here, a local man, and he's been known to come here. In fact, they all know who he is, and that's why it makes it so hard to understand what went wrong and what led to this brutal murder that we saw here.
And of course, you'll keep us abreast with those developments as they come out. Dasen Thathiah there in Creighton, in KwaZulu-Natal, following that story of a young man, 21-year-old young man, who brutally hacked two young 18-year-olds who were studying their matric year. And obviously, that tragedy is being investigated, and we'll get the details as they unfold.